Hi, my name is AJ Parr. I'm a journalist, author of over 20 spiritual books, and a comparative religion researcher. I started out this channel because I wanted to bring hope to those who are in despair and who have recently lost a loved one or simply are searching for answers. And precisely to help us find some of these answers, we are here with a very special guest, the medium, healer, massage therapist, and artist, Sharon Farber.
Hi, how are you today?
Okay, Sharon is also the author of the book Choosing to Be a Medium, Experience and Share the Healing Wonder of Spirit Communication. You describe yourself as an evidential medium who works to prove the continuity of life by giving evidence. Can you explain what these words mean to you?
Yes, as an evidential medium, that is when a medium connects with loved ones in spirit for people, for embodied people. Somebody comes to you for a reading, and you need to get enough information, evidence about the person's personality, her essence, character, memories, that the person you're giving a reading to will definitely know it is their spirit person. It's not a vague, I have a tall, dark man here. They had gray hair. They loved you. It's bringing up the essence and personality of the person so that they're understood and that the person getting the reading will really know that their spirit person is there.
How would you define mediumship?
Mediumship to me is I have a very rigid definition of mediumship. Mediumship to me is one when an embodied person like one of us connects to loved ones in spirit, friends and relatives who are deceased for other people. It's not a psychic reading where you tell about the past, present, and future. It's not connecting to angels. It's not channeling people from other dimensions or past lives or Akashic records or anything like that. It's very exclusively connecting with loved ones in spirit.
When you connect with these spirits, do you think this evidences that death does not exist or that there is life after death?
I would say there is a transition from living in our physical body to living in the spirit world, where you are healthy and healed on all levels, and everybody goes there no matter what. There's no reason, doesn't matter how you passed or how you lived your life. When you physically pass, you go to the spirit world, you are alive and well, you can meet with your friends and relatives who got there before you. You are able to connect through a medium with your embodied people or directly with them if they have a little bit of sensitivity they might not even be aware of. From my understanding of the afterlife, it is all good. There, once again, I already said that there's no dis-ease, there's no mental or physical illness, and I know that they are with their loved ones. I have classes and circles, and we'll hear from some people 20, 30, 40, 50 times, because I have people who've been sitting in my circle classes for a couple years, and some other people come again and again. So there's no doubt that they live on, that they're well, and that they're able to communicate.
Wow, great. So you mentioned in other interviews and in your book, which we will mention later, that you did not, when you were a kid, you did not have any, you did not see spirits, you did not have any evidence of the afterlife, and that you became a medium when you were an adult because you wanted to. Can you explain that, how you became a medium?
Sure, that's a great question, because that makes me a little different than most of the mainstream mediums. Like you just said, I had a pretty much normal life. Doing massage and energy healing, that's working with energy field. And as a healer, I would sometimes be aware of things you can't physically see with your eyes, doing Reiki and other types of healing. But I had never had any experience with those on the other side, and I wasn't compelled to. So what happened was about 12 years ago, 12, 13 years ago, somebody invited me to a mediumship demonstration in a home. I went. She connected with a close friend of mine, my firstborn dog. I saw her connect with make beautiful readings to the other people there. And I was fascinated and thought, oh my goodness, wow. And I invited her to my massage therapy office to come once a month and give small group readings there. She did that, and I got to be at all of them. I got some more connections, saw even more how healing it was. And then I decided, wow, I want to do that. I wish I could do that. And of course, everybody says, most people say, oh, you have to be born that way. And I didn't think you could learn to be a medium. And I said, well, I guess I'll find out. I read books, I took some classes, workshops, started practicing, got my first connection, and jumped up and down and said, oh my gosh, I can do it. So I became interested, took classes, and learned how to do it. And then once I had my first connections and realized I really could, I put all my energy and passion into developing as a medium because that's what I wanted to do. And I did it successfully. So now my passion is teaching others, especially beginners, and I have a very soft spot for people who, I didn't know you could learn to do mediumship. Can I learn? And then I work with them, or they'll take a beginner class and then they get their first connection with the spirit world and they're all excited and happy. And I feel like I can do more healing and help for people instead of just doing readings for a limited amount of people, by teaching and helping actually create other mediums. Because people who, if they have no mediumship abilities, don't even know they can do it, and they learn how, then they can bring love and healing to people through mediumship. So that's kind of my niche.
Great. So you also offer demonstrations, online demonstrations for people who are interested.
Yes, and in person.
And in person. How often do you offer these demonstrations?
At the moment, I'm doing them every couple weeks or so. Just
okay.
Inexpensive, hour and a quarter, just to make it affordable and accessible for people to see what mediumship is like.
Yes, I was recently in one of your mediumship demonstrations, and you really surprised me when you mentioned the presence of my father. I lost him in the end of March. And before going to this demonstration, I tried to talk to him and told him, hey, I'm going to see this medium. Please show up. I was surprised because you mentioned him. So
yeah, he was the first person through loud and clear for you. And I knew he was for you, but I still just gave the information to start off with in case I was wrong.
So normally you when you're in a group demonstration like we were, you normally sense the spirit, you begin to describe the spirit, and then one of the people who are present, if they identify with this person, they raise their hand and they tell you that, yes, this is someone they know, right?
After I ask.
Okay.
I use my intention to connect with a spirit person who's significant, important, and loved by somebody there in the group.
Okay.
And then I say, I have this person, I describe what I can of them. And then I'll say, who recognizes this man, or who recognizes this woman or this person? And then generally someone will raise their hand, sometimes a couple people, and I'll have to get more information to whittle it down to make sure I'm with the right person. And then they get stronger and I give the reading.
I would also like to mention that before we started, you mentioned that we are only allowed to say yes, no, maybe, and correct. I understand. And that we are not allowed to say anything about this person.
That's because I want to give evidence. I want to tell you enough so that the person getting the reading will know it's their person. If they blurt out, yes, that's my Aunt Martha, and she just passed last week, that's 4 pieces of information. Aunt Martha, and that 3, that she passed last week. I want someone to say, yes, recognize her, and I say, then I can go on and say, she feels like an aunt. I'm getting an M name, or like a name like Martha or Marge with her. And it feels like a recent passing. If they blurt out some information, it makes my job harder.
So let's take a look at this video and see what happened during the demonstration.
We're going to go late because we're starting late. And I will just get started here as I am connecting to the other side. I am aware of a man, an older man, older man, who feels like a grandfather kind of guy. He reminds me a little bit of AJ, but older, because he's got graying hair and he's got a mustache. He seems like a smaller kind of guy, older and kind of a lean. He's a warm, enthusiastic, easygoing older man with beautiful energy, and he's busy, he's active, he's showing himself as old, but kind of delightful. So AJ, I am with you, and this would be father, grandfather. You have to unmute yourself.
Everything is exact. He never had a mustache.
Okay, I'm not worried about the mustache. You might also be showing me.
Yes, but
so you, and this would be your grandfather?
No, my father passed away.
Okay, hold on. Don't tell me anything extra.
My father.
I don't want to know when he passed away. But so far, this man who you resemble, who is active and warm and lively with graying hair, would be your father then?
Yes.
And you realize that he has a joy in life, that he embraces life, and he is a people person, or at least his family. The people that he loves.
Yes.
And he's fun. He's got a great smile. He's got a great laugh. He's got a good sense of humor. And he is a grandfather. So he's your father, but he does have grandchildren. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because that's his essence. He loves he's like a perfect grandfather, because he's playful, engaged, and fun, and the grandkids would adore him, and he would adore the grandkids. He's that kind of, rare grandfather that's just engaged, delightful, fun, and really grooving on his grandkids. Correct?
Correct.
He feels smart. He feels interested in a lot of things. He's not so he feels like he has had a rich life and a bit of a colorful life too, and a beautiful marriage. He feels that he is happy and loved and in a partnership with his wife in a beautiful, loving relationship. Can't hear you.
Yes.
Your mother is still living?
No.
Your mother is also in spirit. Okay. Because he just feels so loved and loving. The two of them would have been together for decades. Is that correct? Like this long-term, one-on-one, the two of them. And I'm aware of her presence now also. And she's a calmer, quieter kind of woman. She seems very solid and stable and loving and nurturing, and where he's just a little more lively and active and engaged, she is present, warm, kind of traditional woman in the home, raised family, maternal, and all like that. But the two of them have this beautiful relationship. Would you understand? Does that all make sense for your mom too?
Yes, it makes sense.
And she's a little full-figured?
Excuse me?
She's a little full-figured?
No.
No? Okay. That's okay.
What do you mean by full figures? Excuse me. Chubby?
A little bit.
No, not really.
No. So she's a thin woman, or just regular?
Regular.
Okay. The least important thing in any connection is what they physically look like. But you understand this present, loving, kind of traditional, supportive woman who has a beautiful relationship with her husband, and she is a very present mother, loyal, protective,
Yes.
sacrificing. There's a sacrificing, not as in poor me, I had to sacrifice, but just my goal is to take care of my children and my family and be there for them. That's just who she was.
Yes, a mother, essentially.
And this lovely couple is together in the spirit world.
Oh,
He sending love and having this beautiful love for you. Both of them are very proud of you, loving, proud, supportive, present in your life, present in the grandchildren's life, and that it's more than just you and your kids. It feels like there's kind of a substantial family that they're the grandparents of.
Yeah, I will just say yes. Okay.
Thank you. Well, then I want to tell you that he came first, and I think he's just a little more lively and talkative and outgoing, but she's the solid, stable, take care of everything, and they balance each other out beautifully. Beautiful love for you and your family and the rest of the family. So whoever is open to hearing from them, if you want to share that they came through with a brilliant amount of love for their family, you and their family. So I leave you with their love.
Well, that was my experience, and thank you for sharing that information with me, Sharon.
I'd like to point out to the listening audience that AJ came to the demo as a regular person with no preconceived idea that we were going to make a video, do an interview, or that he would even get a reading and do that. So I wasn't doing that mediumship with any intention of being recorded and having it in a video, just for the record.
When you see these spirits, do you actually see them in your mind, or do you feel their presence? How do you perceive these souls?
Mediums perceive spirit people in different ways. Personally, I will generally see them a little bit first in my mind's eye, and then I know. I see things, and then I'll describe what I see, and that more importantly is I will just know that this is a father, that he was active and loving, or I might have a young person and know that they had a challenging life and that they were troubled and that they took their own life or something. So for me, it's clairvoyance, which is a little bit of seeing, which is seeing. And then I go into claircognizance, and clairsentience is where I feel and I know. Some people hear things, some people smell and taste a lot. I see a little bit, and then I know, and then I just tell the person getting the reading what I can, what I feel, sense, and know about the spirit person.
What are your spiritual beliefs? I mean, regarding religion, are you a spiritualist, or do you believe in reincarnation? What are your spiritual beliefs?
My personal spiritual beliefs, I was raised Jewish, and I don't actively practice it so much, well, practically at all, but I like the culture and the traditions. So I was raised Jewish. I believe that mediumship is not a contraindicated with any culture, that you can be any religion whatsoever, and that mediumship is still fine. And I know mediums who have all kinds of different religions. Spiritualists believe in mediumship and all kinds of things. I would say that I believe in everything that spiritualists believe in, And you could call me a spiritualist, but I don't belong to a spiritualist church. We don't have one close to here. I'm not seeking to be a reverend in a spiritualist church.
Okay.
And if you asked me my religion, I would still tend to gravitate that I was raised Jewish. I'm much more universalist, though.
Okay.
I believe in being a good person, in love and peace and doing the right thing and healing and not harming things. So it doesn't need a box for me.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
I personally do believe in reincarnation.
Okay. Why?
That's a good question. Why not? Well, first of all, I believe in past lives. And if you don't believe in reincarnation, that kind of makes the past life part not work. Past life regression, past life readings, that's different animal than mediumship, but
Yes.
I do believe it exists. I read this awesome book by Brian Weiss, Many Lives, Many Masters. Read some of his other books, but they didn't have the impact of the first one. So I read that book probably 25 years ago, about 25 years ago, and went, wow, I believe in past lives. My personal view is that we have a life, our physical life ends, we go to the spirit world and we have healing. And if we've done bad things, hurt people, we have to explore that. There's remorse and that karma, if you do bad things, I believe in karma as in there is a retribution for doing bad things and good things, but it's not a hell, it's not torture, it's not levels in the spirit world. I believe that no matter what you do in your physical life, when you get to the spirit world, you have to work through that. You're going to have love and support to get through it, but there's a difference between someone who hurt a lot of people versus Mother Teresa in the experience in the spirit world.
I'd like to ask you, when and why did you write your book, Choosing to be a Medium, Experience and Share the Healing Wonder of Spirit Communication?
I wrote the book because I was compelled to write the book. I am not somebody who had previously written anything or had an interest in writing, and I was fairly new in my mediumship abilities development when I got this overwhelming, compelling to write a book. I was 3 years in, and
How long was it? When was this? How long ago?
this was about 2014 that I started.
Okay.
So I'm like, what? And I just felt compelled. So that is one of those examples where I feel I was compelled by spirit and spirit guides. And I said, okay, if I'm going to write a book, I want a lot of help. And I did. I wrote outlines. I wrote all this. I believe it was help from spirit. I got an agent. I got a traditional publisher. I've got a beautiful color. Everything went along just amazingly. So I wrote, that was one reason. The other reason is because all those people, all the hundreds and hundreds of people who've told me, you can't learn to be a medium. I didn't think you could learn to be a medium. It annoys me. If everybody listens to that, there won't be many mediums. Why do you think you need to be born a medium when I find that I can teach people and they can learn and they can become mediums? So that's what I wanted to get out. My working title of the book was How to Become a Medium When You're Not Born That Way. Or Are You? The Llewellyn, the publisher and editor, they came up with choosing to be a medium. They came up with some options, and I like that one. But it was to let people know that they're not the select chosen few. You don't need to be a third generation medium. You don't need to have this special, unique ability, that it's something that people can do. And it's healing and beautiful and empowering. And I think it's helpful for the world. So that's the main reason I wrote the book.
Apart from the book and these sessions that you offer with demonstrations, you also have a beginning level course, right?
I teach a 5-hour online beginner mediumship class usually every few weeks also, usually at least once a month, sometimes a couple times a month, limit it to 10 people so that there's individual attention. And in the 5 hours, I go through the whole foundation of mediumship and how to learn it and step by step. We have a 20-minute break and then everybody gets to give a reading, and I will coach, support, help as needed. I can give people little guided meditations to help them get a link. And generally, anybody who takes the 5-hour class, by the time it's over, almost everybody, I'd say 95% of the people, get a validated connection with somebody in spirit, even if they haven't been doing mediumship before. I do private readings online and I teach classes in person. I did more before March of 2020, and I'm starting to do them again now. And I taught a 3-day intensive class in a week-long retreat in Hawaii in December, and it's one of the best things I've ever done.
Wow.
I'm going back in November to teach another one, up to 12 students, 3 days, immerse yourself in mediumship at this beautiful retreat center on Oahu. So it doesn't get any better than that. So that's what I'm excited about now.
Please give me the links and I will include it in the description of this video.
Sure. And for the record, right now, my website is sharonfarber.net. And if you go to my website, sharonfarber.net, you will find everything else, all the classes, events, how to get readings, how to take, just all of it's on my website.
And what's your email, just in case somebody wants to get in touch with you?
At sharonfarber.net.
One final question. What would you tell someone who has recently lost a loved one who is afraid of death? Maybe that person has a terminal disease. What would you tell someone who is suffering because of the idea of death?
Everybody who physically passes goes to the spirit world. I mean, I haven't connected with all of them, but what I have learned from my experience, from my mentors, teachers, and everything I know is you're not gone. There's no oblivion. You're in a beautiful, healing spirit world, connected to other people, getting whatever healing and guidance you need on your soul's evolution, and that you can connect with your loved ones, your embodied loved ones, either directly or with a medium. And it's a beautiful place, and they come through all the time out of love, and they're healthy and happy and all is well. And I think experiencing mediumship and knowing that it's real and it happens can help alleviate fear of death for people and help them be at peace with impending death, whether it's soon or later, because we're all going to go at some point.
Okay, well, thanks. This has been the medium, healer, massage therapist, and artist, Sharon Farber. Thanks for this interview, and it has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, AJ. It's been my pleasure to be here with you.
Thanks.